if there's anything that every skincare professional agrees on, is that sunscreen is the #1 method that can protect you from faster aging. The only issue is that most of those professionals are wrong about what sunscreens they recommend. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Nadia founder of the Beauty Doctrine.com, home of functional beauty, and that is where beauty meets health. A mouthful, I know, but I'm very dedicated to teaching consumers and brands alike on how to create and use the very best skincare that is non-sensitizing and that actually supports our lipid barrier and microbiome. There are a lot of little nuances that are not being paid attention to. The one thing that frustrates me most is when I hear a lot of plastic surgeons and dermatologists say any sunscreen is good as long as you get it on your skin, that's great. I wholeheartedly disagree, and that is because we don't want to think so superficially. We know that sunscreen is great as far as protecting the skin from premature aging, but we don't want to do that at the expense of our health. And very few people think that far. For example, I would not touch my face or body with chemical sunscreen, even though it may delay aging. And that's because chemical sunscreens have lots of potential toxins like benzene that can actually cause cancer. So you have to kind of pick your battle. Do I want, good skin, or do I want cancer? I don't want, beauty at the expense of health. Healthy body is really the gateway to good skin in the first place. So I'm dedicating a full video to just sunscreen formulations, and also what I'm using myself step by step. So I'm going to be talking about how I protect my face, how I protect my body. I have a special sunscreen I use for my neck. You don't have to do all of that, but I will go into all the detail, and also how to replenish, how to reapply properly while still maintaining a nice glow on your skin, kind of reapplying your blush, a sunscreen on the lip, all the good stuff. So let's get into it. So I have a bag, don't judge me, for my sun protection stuff. It is filled with just sunscreens. Again, I don't want to make this overwhelming for anyone. I like to have options, especially that I don't wear foundation, powder, bronzer, none of that. So I do my contouring with sunscreen, my highlight with sunscreen, my blush with sunscreen. I make sure that I'm really intentional with the skincare and the makeup that I wear. So my makeup is 100% creams, and also pretty much my summer makeup is sunscreen based. So I wear a lip product that is sunscreen based, as well as a blush that is sunscreen based. So in the morning, after cleansing, using red light therapy, and then applying my skincare, which typically consists of a mist, 2 serums. One of the serums must have vitamin C. I go ahead and maybe do my hair or go have my coffee or something else, just allowing time for my skincare to absorb before I move into the application of sunscreen. This ensures that sunscreen does not get diluted by being blended into the rest of the skincare. Now, I like to have a few different options for tints. As far as my daily tinted sunscreen, my basic color that matches my skin, I tend to go between these 3. But I would say 90% of the time it's going to be Cary Grant tinted in the color medium. Today I mixed it a little bit with dark, so I just took a little bit of the dark, poured it in there because I'm getting a lot of color. I've been in the sun recently quite a bit, and so my face is starting to look lighter than my body, so I'm just warming up my tinted sunscreen. So again, you don't have to do all that, but I like to, slightly color match. I also took that dark color and just contoured with it a little bit. The way that you can actually contour with a dark sunscreen is to just select one shade darker than your existing sunscreen, or you can go really dark. So Audacité is another really, really good brand that makes excellent sunscreen. This is lighter than the Kerry-Gran one. And Kerry-Gran is 100% oil-based, so it doesn't have any preservatives, which means it's ideal for really sensitive skin types. So if your lipid barrier is compromised, you want to avoid preservatives, which I highly recommend. When I start working with clients with compromised skin barrier, I have them stop anything with preservatives, with water-based ingredients, and just go straight for oils so that they can recover that lipid barrier and allow it to build. And that takes a few weeks. And then we start introducing, products with preservatives and water. And the reason preservatives and water go together is because wherever there's water, there's a requirement for preservatives, and typically harsh alcohols and things like that, which tend to break down that lipid barrier. But this one here is like a really dark color. This is number 5 in Audacité. I'm just using it as a stark example so you can actually see what the color looks like. If you wanted to maybe dilute another sunscreen, add color to it, or just use it as a contour. And so you can do that. So this morning I did that with not this darker color, but this is just something that you can do to create that contour. Like I said earlier, my blush is also sunscreen based, so I adore this one. It's by Avocado Zinc. This is the color Berry, which is what I wear most of the time, but today I have this color on, Coral. Coral tends to be like a scary color for most people. I love coral because it gives you that look really fresh and youthful look, especially in summertime. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply a little bit more, although I have enough on today, but I literally, just to demonstrate, I just kind of apply it right on the apple of the cheek. And I take my sunscreen brush, that's also by Avocado Zinc. And by the way, this is how I recommend you reapply. So I do this, let's say I'm at the park, or at the beach. I typically would take these with me. I would use this one for the lip. We can do either the berry or coral. There's another color called nude. All 3 of them are on my website. So I do that. I take my sunscreen brush, I reapply my sunscreen with it, so I just go like that. So no, you don't even need to touch your hands to the sunscreen or anything like that, in case they're dirty, or you're at the beach, you're sandy, so it can be hands-free basically. So the brush can give you that really nice sunscreen application. So you pump it right on the brush itself or on your face and apply. And then I finish, when I do the 2 dots that I just did on the cheeks, I just press it on. I press so it can stay in place, and then just kind of blend a bit after I've pressed. So by pressing, I really push it into the skin. This ensures longevity of that product on the skin. And so now what I just did, I basically reapplied my sunscreen, my blush, covered and protected the lips with just the one step, just the brush and sunscreen. So I love this. I love that these options exist. And now let's talk about the neck. Obviously, everything that I've showcased so far is for the face because it's got color or tint. So for the neck, I like to have options that are non-tinted. So Kerry-Gran makes a non-tinted version. So this is what I use on my neck, and it's quite different from what I use on the body. For the neck, very important to treat it as part of your face. I see this very often after spending 28 years in the beauty industry. So many women age well on the faces because they invest in peptides and vitamin C and all these great things and sunscreen, and they think somehow they need to stop right here. You don't need to stop right here. I stop here with the tinted version, and then there's a need for non-tinted for the neck down because you don't want the tint to come off on the clothing. And so that's where this comes in. So it's a skincare item that's also a sunscreen. It's highly moisturizing. Again, I'm a very dry skin type. I'm also sensitive. And so I still go with the Cary Grant one most of the time when I apply a product on my neck. So I do this. I'm not gonna apply a lot because this is just for the sake of demonstration, and I already have a my sunscreen on, and I just take that same brush. So this is what I would do when I'm outdoors reapplying. So just do that. You want to cover the ear as well. Again, I'm not doing too much. This is not a real application, just a demo for you to see. And that's pretty much it. That's what I do for the neck as well, covering the entire neck. Don't forget the back of the neck. Typically I would just hold my hair up and do that entire application. Now, these sunscreens are expensive, very high quality ingredients, and again, they have skincare ingredients, and so I'm not gonna go ahead and apply, I think, a $70 or $75 sunscreen all over the body. It'll be done very quickly. So for the rest of the body, you want a big size that is value, and this is phenomenal. This is Avocado Zinc. It's the SPF 30 natural body sunscreen. You'll find this also on my website. It's water resistant, so 4 hours. And so that's typically what's gonna go on the body. One thing, this is kind of a trick I've been doing for many years. Again, like when I'm outdoors and I don't, my hands are not like super clean, or I just don't want them to be sticky because I want to still be able to hold my phone or drive and whatever. So I try not to use the palms of my hand when I'm applying sunscreen or reapplying it. So what I do, I use the back of the hand. And so this is also like when I reapply often on the backs of the hands. So let's say I used a public restroom, washed my hands. This is how I would just squeeze a little bit on the back of the hand and kind of spread it using the backs of the hands together. So this ensures you have that protection without getting the inside, the palms of your hands really, sticky and silky. Again, that technique is advisable just when you don't have access to washing your hands with soap. So it's great when you're at the park or, at the beach. But obviously the easier way and the one that makes sense for like your overall application is to just cover your body with a good amount of sunscreen and blend it in, and there you go. So that's my application for the face, for the neck, and for the body. Another wonderful option for a body sunscreen is the Suntegrity one. With Suntegrity, we want to be careful because it's like hit or miss. It's a brand that is dedicated to creating sunscreens, so they have a lot of different options. So when I make a referral, it's really for the select few products that have been curated, tested, reviewed. They're on the beautydoctrine.com. So if you go on the Suntegrity website, you'll find that there's a mix. So there are some sunscreens that have citrus in them, so those do not get approved for the beautydoctrine.com. So yeah, if you're interested in this brand, definitely check out the assortment that is on the beautydoctrine.com, and that's very limited in comparison to their larger assortment. And if you didn't know why I don't recommend citrus is an ingredient that can promote hyperpigmentation and sensitivity. So you won't find on the beautydoctrine.com a product that's moisturizer or serum or sunscreen or anything that you would wear day in and day out that would have citrus. We don't want anything with citrus specifically in a sunscreen because that is a product that you obviously wear during the day to protect you from the sun, and you don't want that product to be promoting hyperpigmentation and sensitivity. Again, I just make those very small exceptions of citrus in a product that I would use every once in a while. So if I'm testing something, if I'm in a bind, or let's say it's a mask, for example, there is a Tyla mask that I really like that has some citrus in it, and I know I'll probably use it once a month or even every other month. That's not going to have that much of an impact or negative impact on my skin versus a product that I would use daily. Try to avoid citrus as much as you can, especially in those products that you would wear in direct sunlight during the day. There are some products that I make mandatory for my family to have. I even had them in a cup by the door, so there's that visual reminder for my kids as they're leaving, especially, you know, they're going a lot to the beach this summer, and so a sunscreen lip balm and then a sunscreen stick. So this is great just to reapply, you know, maybe on the ears, those areas that people often forget and you get that sunburn there. So the stick comes in really handy, as well as the lip balm, just for a quick application, and they're small and they're really easy to have in your pocket or your beach bag. There are two related products that I want to talk about as part of this education on sunscreen and sun protection. One of them is the moisturizing self tanner. This is a clean self tanner without toxins for those people that want to speed up, you know, their tan development without, you know, risking a sunburn. This is an excellent option. And lastly, if you are at the beach or in direct sunlight for a long time, really important to have something that's going to be soothing and calming for the skin. This is called Trifecta Power Mist. It's a hydrating toner, but also after sun. So this is something I send my kids to the beach with always, so just to rehydrate. Our skin takes a beating when you're in direct sunlight for a long time. It gets dehydrated, and so this is a good way to help kind of just soothe and replenish that hydration when you're outdoors or afterwards. This could be something that you leave in your bathroom after you take your shower. You can mist with it to help soothe, calm, and bring that nourishment and hydration back into the skin. One last note here, I've been trying to get in the sun as much as possible because I found that I'm very deficient on vitamin D. And so if you want to get it through sun exposure, just be careful not to wash with soap or shower gel 1 hour before sun exposure and then up to 12 hours after. And so your shower right after, let's say, spending a day at the beach should only consist of water, and then maybe you can use soap, you know, under your armpits or privates, but the areas that you really want to allow that synthesis to happen cannot be washed. You're literally washing off that vitamin D. I hope you found some value in this video and you learned something new. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with somebody that you care about. Sun care tips are extremely crucial to our health and to that of our skin. I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, be well, be safe, be beautiful. Take care.